Come on, let's give God a shout, a hoot.
All right, we're in for a special Sunday, and we're super excited to hear what the team has to share. And last week, during the service, I said that it was like a twofold thing, how that they went out and lives were touched through, God through them, but the truth, and their lives were changed in return. But the truth is, man, it hit all of us too. It wasn't just a twofold thing, it was threefold. Because what happened with sending the team out and everything that happened there and them coming back and sharing, it changes us as a church too. Yeah. And it's fulfilling the mission of this church is to experience the love of God and to go out and express the love of God. Yeah. Whether you're in the Philippines or whether you're here in Menominee and it's 20 below zero. Yeah. Goodness, God's the same. Well, let's talk about it.
Awesome.
Well, we of course joined Mutual Faith Ministries, which is Keith and Heidi Hershey and other faithful people. We had 6 people from Liberty that went out on this team, this trip, and they were joined, and a total of 24 people went over to the Philippines. Wow. So there was 4 churches involved in this whole trip, and they were gone for 8 days. 3 of those days were travel days.
3, maybe y'all didn't hear that.
3 full days.
Full travel days. That was crazy.
This is more than going to Eau Claire, okay?
Just a little
This
bit.
is huge.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk a little about travel. And what do we got here? We've got a
we can
map
show
up
it.
here.
Did y'all see that video up there? Yeah, so basically the path out there was pretty wild. We went from, we didn't even count the Wisconsin to Minneapolis thing, we didn't get too technical with it. But so we drove from Menominee to Minneapolis. We left here at what, like 11 something?
10:30, right?
10:30. And then we got over there our flight left Minneapolis at 3 p.m. We get to LA at 4:45 p.m. But you travel back in time. Bear with me because this is about to get real. And then we had a layover there for a little while, and then we hopped on a plane and traveled into the future, 14 hours. Well, 16 from LA, 14 from here. And then, we got there and then jumped on a plane from Manila to General Santos, which is funny because you would think that that would be a smaller plane. But you get to Manila and it's this giant plane you get on from the airport, and then you get off of this gargantuan plane in General Santos, and you go on the ground. It felt kind of strange. I know this was our second year, so we were expecting it, but you're on this giant plane and you get straight off onto the parking lot, and it was just really funny.
And you get umbrellas.
And you get umbrellas! That's right.
To beat the heat.
Yep, yeah, because it's a pretty...
So where'd you get these umbrellas?
They hand them to you.
They give them to you?
Like the airport people.
At the airport, they just
are
give you
at the end
umbrellas
of
to shield you from the heat?
Yeah, they're at the end of the stairs, and they're like, here you go. Here's a...
Well, how nice.
For your, a block walk to the airport.
It felt a little Mary Poppins-y for my taste,
Watch out for strong winds, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was the hardest part about travel?
Let's just go down the line.
Yeah, come on.
What do you think, Kelly?
I don't even know. I felt honestly, I felt that this year it was really blessed. We had basically no wait in line, which for an airport is unheard of.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 minutes to check our bags. Yeah. And that's how the whole airport experience went. So I didn't really feel like there was a hard part to it this year.
Okay, so what was your favorite part?
What was my favorite part? Just getting to reconnect with people from last year, I guess.
Cool. What about you, Mark?
Well, the hardest part for me was sleeping. I couldn't sleep on the plane, especially going over. And then actually, I didn't sleep a whole lot when I was over there. But to be honest, the Lord really energized me.
Yeah.
I was just so excited the whole time I was there. I really didn't need that much sleep.
Yeah, there was one day though, y'all. There was one day it really sticks out to me when I think back on the trip and I think about Mark specifically. It was super funny. So we're all in the lobby, right? And we're in the hotel, and it's you know, it's a nice lobby. You're sitting on couches, and the team is there, you know, and Mark, he comes down, and the look on his face was absolutely hysterical. He was just like, you know, like it was like one moment of true exhausted days, you know. And then sure enough, like the minute I said Mark, he like snapped out of it. And he was like good to go. But it was funny because he had been telling us how little sleep he was going on, you know. And then there you go, you've got Mark just like, you know, but you looked good, you know. I don't mean you still
Way
looked
to pull
good.
it off, Mark. Kayla, what about you? Just traveling, what would you say?
Well, the most difficult part about the traveling in general was okay, but the whole food thing on the airplane was awful.
Yeah.
I mean, in the middle of the night on the flight from LAX to the Manila, they served like a tuna sandwich, a hot tuna sandwich.
A tuna pie though.
It was messed up. But no, so I packed a lot of snacks and ate all my snacks.
Yeah. Yeah. Last year was our first time out there, you know, and it was cool because at least this time we kind of had a warning, you know, because last year when we went out there, you don't know what they're going to give you for food on these airplanes, you know, and they give you kind of like American options and then Filipino options as well. But I remember last year, you know, we wake up in the middle of the night, it's like 2 a.m. or something, and there's this little box waiting, and it's tuna sandwich, right? But you open up this box, and it's like, how many of y'all have ever had like an apple pie from McDonald's? Yeah, hands? Okay. And so, you know, it was like that except without the slits. You know, so I'm thinking like this has got to be some kind of tasty dessert pastry, you know, and so I take a bite, and sure enough, there's shredded tuna on the inside of this thing, which, like, when you're expecting something sweet, like, the last thing you want is shredded tuna. So y'all are blessed, because I told everybody, you know, this year, like, going on this plane, they're going to give you some weird meat-filled croissants, you know. God bless them, because it's, you know, I mean, I know to some people they love it, but meat croissants are not my deal, you know. But, yeah.
Pastor Stephen, I heard a story about sleeping on the airplane on the way back. Tell us about that.
Okay, so last year the flights didn't go quite as well, you know. And I think that honestly, this might sound like over-spiritualization to some people, but I love inviting God into everything, you know, like even the little details, because I think he cares about the details, you know. And so last year, when we went out there, you know, we prayed a lot for the trip, you know, and a lot for the ministry out there. And honestly, last year, I came back a little, like, blown away by the travel and the intensity of it. You know, I mean, I've been on tour and I've gone lots of traveling, but jumping on a plane for that long, it's a long flight, you know. And so what was cool is last year, our flight got delayed for like, we're undecided about the length of time. It felt like 12 hours. I think that we've come to realize that it was more around 6 hours that we were delayed in Manila last year. And so eventually we get on our plane, you know, and sure enough, everybody else had transferred to a different plane. So we all had our own rows, right? Which was beautiful. Like, I don't know if y'all understand, but having a row of 4 seats on a 14-hour flight is, praise the Lord. Like, I did a little jig, no joke.
Yeah.
And so this year, Justin, who was the leader of the trip out there, he was like, hey, Stephen, can you pray that on our way back, the same thing happens? And I was like, well, yeah, you know, and I kind of laughed it off, but I kind of got serious too, you know, like it was one of those things where, like, do y'all ever wonder if God really cares, you know, about something, you know? So I kind of I wasn't like bold and like, in Jesus' name, we will have a row, you know, I didn't do any of that, you know, but my hope was out there, you know, and I was like, God, man, if you can make this happen, let's make this happen. So sure enough, we get to the airport, our flight looks booked, didn't it?
It looked really booked.
Like, our little area was like full, you know, and so we're about to get on this plane. I'm just like, oh goodness, Mark and I are going to be just as close as we were on the first flight. You know, we're going to be next to each other this one too. And Mark was a good travel companion, you know, but back on the way back, sure enough, we get on and we're sitting in the back of the plane. So, you know, you're watching people like, okay, what's our destiny? Who are we sitting next to? What does this look like? You know, and everybody gets in and I'm seeing these middle rows and nobody's sitting there. And I'm just like, oh, Lord, come on. And sure enough, I see there's like probably like 4 or 5 empty rows, and I just jumped ship, you know. I jumped over Mark, dove into the middle, and
Then I followed.
we had some following.
You actually had to jump over 2 people because I was supposed to sit in between
Was I
you
on
guys.
the window?
Yeah, you were in the window seat.
See, it's all just a blur.
He dove so fast.
I had my eyes fixed on the promise, and nothing in the peripheral could, you know, get in the way. No, sorry. But yeah, so we jumped over on the way back on a pretty dang booked flight. We had our own rows, you know. I feel bad for Shara and Micah because their armrest didn't go up, you know. So, and you know, when you're a couple, that armrest is in the way, you know. So God bless them for enduring, but it was amazing.
Kelly, tell us about what travel was like when you were on the ground.
Travel on the ground. Oh, well, traffic is a lot different there than it is here. Next year, we really need to start taking videos of the travel so you can see. But well, there's 24 of us, first of all, so that means 3 vans because we have a large crew from the churches there that travel with us too. So 3 vans. And like General Santos. Gen San, is a bigger city.
Yeah.
Does anyone know do you guys know the
I have
population?
no idea.
600,000.
600,000, okay. So if you feel like you're in a city, well, I'm not really sure if they have traffic laws, but it just seems who honks the loudest is the one that has the right of way. And so the whole time you're honking at each other. And then, so there's these big buses, but there's also these motorbikes, so like dirt bikes, basically. And then there's trikes, which are a dirt bike that has like a cab over them. And it's unreal how many people they fit in those things. I guess I didn't really look as much this year. I know last year I personally saw 6 people on a dirt bike going down the highway. And they were comfortable, just like hanging out. So travel was interesting.
Yeah.
We had some close calls on some bumper car situations.
Yeah, we had a real bumper car situation.
Yeah.
Y'all weren't in that car, you know, so they're vans, right? There was this one driver, and he was like my dude. You know, like I committed to riding in his van always just because we had like a connection, you know? And so sure enough, we're going out to, one day, we actually took a little like getaway for the morning, you know, and then we had ministry in the evening. But in the morning, we went out and we did like snorkeling and stuff. So it's quite a drive, you know, to get there. And along the way, have any of y'all ever driven along a coast where you have like the bends that go around and you don't know what's around the other side? Well, my driver didn't really care about any of that, you know. And so we're going, Dana, this would be your worst nightmare. Seriously. And so, you know, and I feel like the van drivers kind of had like this, let's see who can get there the quickest thing. I don't know. Maybe that was imaginary.
Yeah, they had driving gloves on. Really?
They did.
Yeah.
And they were like hardcore driving gloves.
They'd get all excited, and then they'd weave in and out of traffic. And the 2-lane highways, it'd be in the left lane almost as much as it'd be in the right lane.
Yeah, it's like a video game. For real. You know, so we're out there, and sure enough, we're going around one of these corners, and it's myself, Justin, Janan, and Abraham, and then, of course, our driver, you know, and we're going around this one, and it's around a corner. We're going probably 70, 75, you know, something like that. And sure enough, I see along the horizon, here comes a car, you know. And these guys are good at playing chicken, but there's some situations that just like you can't make work, you know. And so sure enough, he swerves over into the right. We hit a dude a guy in a car, Okay, thank God, But we actually end up scraping the whole side of the van on another vehicle, and the whole time it was hilarious because Justin, he asked me on the other side, he's like, so as this was happening, like what did I say? As if he was like afraid that like he dropped some, bombs, some improper language or something, and I'm like, dude, Justin, actually you held it together, because he was just like, seriously, the whole time you told a story last week about Dana screaming Jesus, Justin, the same thing, he was just like, Jesus! And sure enough, we get over on the other side. The other driver was cool, but yeah. So anyways, it was a roller coaster ride. We got there, everything was great. And then sure enough, the driver, man, within the time that we went snorkeling, he actually had the scratch buffed out and everything, just like it had never happened. And I was just like...
Like he knows how to do that.
Yeah, like it wasn't his first thing that he's had to buff out, But...
Yeah,
anyways.
I actually saw that. I was in the van in front of you guys,
Okay.
and I was talking to the people behind me. So I was, watching the back the whole time, and my face just dropped. I was like, okay, if they did not bump that time, it was within a centimeter, and I was, it was a little nerve-wracking, but it was good.
I didn't know what happened. It felt like a football player like smashed his helmet against the side of the vehicle, because I was sitting on that side. I was like, I was... of course, totally oblivious to what was going on.
Everybody here, thank you for praying.
For real, your prayers went a long way, so thank you.